unanimous decision. What's up, Dave? I feel like I don't even have to say that because I've been with you all week.
I know. What a crazy week. One of the best weeks ever. My camera's falling down. As soon as you did that, my camera fell because you were so excited.
Just sending the power through the phone. Yeah,
wow.
First of all, I look crazy, but
show everyone your knuckles.
They look scary. They look scary. Just
that's the best thing. Oh my goodness.
They look scary, but they really don't hurt that bad.
Bare Knuckle FC 3-0, 3 wins in 1 year. 3-0.
Man, it feels good. It was tough. That fight was so tough.
So tough. There's so much we're going to talk about. So many fun behind-the-scenes stories that only Taylor Starling knows, only myself knows. We're going to peel the curtain, peel the banana. There's so many things we're going to do. One thing is you just said it, and just I got all these fun notes, and there's so much we got to get into, but we can go 2 episodes if we need to, whatever. Did you have any, you just said, hey, winner by unanimous decision. Were you 1% worried about the judges, or you're like, no, I dominated that fight. I love me some Hannah Guy. We're going to talk about how great Hannah Guy is. I've been talking with Hannah and her coach afterwards. They would love to have you in Biloxi. So no disrespect to Hannah, but did you at all have any kind of until they say my name, I'm not sure.
I did. And it was just because I always feel like when I'm in the fight, it feels so much worse than it looks. I did not watch my fight until today.
Okay.
Because I was so upset. I was like, I just did so awful. And then I watched the fight and I'm like, oh, I dominated. I did great. But yeah, I do remember when they had us standing there and before they said, when they said the unanimous, I knew it was me. But before they did, there was 1 second where I was like, woo, if they just said that she won, I'm going to be crushed. And it was just but I feel like you, as anytime there's a decision, you possibly could feel like that because you never know. And it was just I felt like Hannah was so fucking tough that she made it feel a lot harder than it was.
She was so good in the clinch. And I think it was round 2, and it's all melding together, especially how much fun we had for 48 hours there in Tampa at the Hard Rock Casino. Like I said, so many fun stories coming. But I think it was round 2 that I felt like she had you more in the clinch. And that's where I think she was just, if you want to say kind of holding or controlling or doing a lot of her good work was in the clinch, inside stuff. So I think it was but right away it was Jeff Houston was 50-45 unanimous. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. And it was just crazy because the way I saw my fight with Hannah was everything that I thought was going to happen is exactly what happened. And I worked for all of that. And I was I felt like a problem solver. I was all right, whatever, in that moment, I'm whatever problem she's putting in front of me, I have to solve it. So she was clinching me and working this really good clinch, and it was a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. But I knew she's a grappler. I'm she's so strong. So I was I got to solve these problems. So whatever she was doing, it was whether it was the clinch or them big ass, because Hannah was throwing to knock me the fuck out. She was not every punch was, there was no just
no jab.
There was nothing sticking something out there. It was what? So I was just all right, I work head movement. It was funny because Hannah did an interview where she was in her pre-fight interview, she was yeah, I don't think Taylor has the best head movement. And it was just funny because that's all I work. My favorite thing to work is head movement. And I'm always head movement drills. And that really shined in this fight. And so that was cool because I just got to showcase what I really worked on. And yeah, I'm hard on myself. So definitely after the fight, I was oh, fuck, I didn't do enough. And of course I did enough.
You did great. Yeah, one of the best performances, just the, and like I said, man, no disrespect. And every time, you say, oh, I love the color blue, that doesn't mean I hate the color red. You can like different colors, but I just like blue more. All the other fights were on there were great fights at Bare Knuckle FC Tampa. There's some good stuff. There's some great knockouts. There's some wars. There was a fight in the crowd with Julian Lane and Mike Perry that we might have to get into later. There was a fight backstage almost with the Juggernaut and someone else backstage. We'll get into that later. But your fight, your entrance and the crowd and the electric, to me, it was it. It was the fight of the night, the moment of the night, the just that's what the people came to see. Let's just be real. Like it was unbelievable. It was electric.
When people were chanting my name, I've never had that happen in all of my fight career. And the whole arena was like chanting my name. I was in that fight. And I remember like when it happened, I was in a tough spot. Like I was like, I think Hannah was like hitting me or I was in the clinch or something. People started chanting my name. And in my brain, I was like, oh, I ain't got shit for you people right now. I'm trying. And they were chanting. I'm like, well, I have to win this fight because they're chanting my fucking name right now.
Love it. Love it. Oh my goodness. All right. So
crazy.
like I said, we'll kind of get into the fight and maybe we'll get Hannah Guy on in a week or two and really can dissect that. That'd be cool. Alan Belcher is a huge Taylor Starling fan now. Maybe he'll come on. But like I said, this show was not created to dissect the fight and in and out. You guys can go on the Bare Knuckle TV app if you want to watch the fight. If you haven't, especially this podcast, it's about everything else. So much fun happened. So many behind the scenes stories happen. And a couple things like I almost want to ask you about, a couple things I just want to tell the people and have some fun stories about. So I just want to start there. One of the things that I guess I want to start with is how the weigh-ins and they are, weighing people and all this stuff and for the crowd and for, their weigh-in show and everything was on the Bare Knuckle TV, YouTube and all that. And like, everyone was like, hey, this person and people were clapping or whatever. And all of a sudden they announce Hannah Guy and Taylor Starling and the place goes crazy. So they do Hannah Guy first. They come up. You like almost come up halfway on this stage already because like they're about to say your name and like you're itching to get out there. Like you said, it was forever. Like you guys were.
I was tired of waiting.
It was a minute. You guys were out there forever. And then they announce your name and I'm there literally like at the stage front row. We're recording it. We're doing all this different stuff. And like the place just got so loud behind me. I was like, wait, is this for Taylor? Like this is for my Taylor?
Like
this
crazy.
Is Taylor Starling? It was awesome. Like you were such a star that day. It was crazy. It was awesome.
So let me ask you a question about like, this is like, sounds so conceited, but like, they asked me, I think you saw my interview, like they asked me in my pre-fight interview, like, why do you think that the people love you so much? And why do you think the fans love you so much? And my dumb ass, first of all, I'm like, because of blah, blah, blah. And like, I didn't even say anything related to fighting. I'm like, oh, maybe because I like put on good fights after the fact. But like, I just want people to know from your perspective, because you just spent like the week with me. Like, I really am the same exact person.
I know.
Like the way that I am online and stuff. Like, what would you say about that? Like,
No, 100%. And what you kind of said in your interview, I'll 100% agree or double down on. No, there's a big part of the crowd for sure. It is the fights and how you fight. You fight so relentlessly. You fight so aggressive, and you fight in a fun way to watch. To be honest, like people, a layman fan, a normal fan could watch and be like, oh, that's something that's like fun and exciting how you fight. So that's a big part of it. But I think, I agree. 75 or 80% is like, man, there's so many fighters out there that are all the same, or so many fighters don't let people come into your life. Like I know people, we had that awesome kid from Vermont. He literally drove down from Vermont and like, he knew like stuff about you and some like details and stuff like, cause you let people in, like you let the audience connect with you. Faults, positive, like funny stuff, mean stuff, great stuff. Like you just, at the end of the day, you are who you are and you like let people in, like you connect with the audience. And like more than anything, that's everything. Like you connect.
I thought it was cool just like to have you there and like see, like I had my moments where I was like a fighter and like nervous. I'd be like, I'm nervous. And then like, but for the most part, like I'm just fun. And like I love to just like fuck around all the time. And I think people like, I'm like, maybe that's what it, like I want people to know like I really am like as goofy and weird and crazy, and like all my people are like, our whole circle is just like wild. So it's like, like what you see is what you get. Like I really am the way that I am. And sometimes I'm like, why am I this way? But
before we get into the food and the weigh-in awesome dinner afterwards, and before we get into that and some Hard Rock stories, us betting on roulette and more stuff on that, the one thing I kind of want to like ask you, or almost not even ask you, it's more of like just kind of a topic and bring up to people, because I don't think the regular fan understands this. And like, I know, I thought I knew, but even with me being there more kind of in your locker room almost the whole time, watching your hands get wrapped and all this stuff, I don't think people realize how much of a like, not a update you get, or not of like, oh, Taylor Starling, an hour and a half to your fight. Taylor Starling, an hour. It's like none of that. Like,
No.
You show up, like literally, I was there a little bit before you fight night, but you show up and it's like, okay, you show up, boom, like literally the fight's already happening. They kind of get you into your own little locker room area, and they're like, okay, it's time to wrap your hands. It's like, okay. Remember Dave Mundell, who was the fight before you, was in the back one fight before his fight, didn't even have his hands wrapped.
Yeah.
Like the commission's like starting to freak out. They're like, dude, you got to get your hand wrapped. Like, I don't think people realize like how much of like not a practice or not of a warm up. And you warmed up, I thought actually more than
really
I thought
good,
maybe
yeah.
other fighters did. Like, you warmed your ass up, but like, there wasn't this like constant update or people talking to you like I think that people would think. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
it's
no, like you show up, you better fucking have some kind of general idea. Like, it's literally on you to know like what fight's up, what's going on, because I always like, I'm on it. I'm like, I got to know what fight's coming on. And it was funny because it was actually probably like 7 fights before I fought. And I was like, all right, time to start rapping. It's time to start rapping and getting ready to go, because I knew like the way that bare knuckle works too is like sometimes like it can be a long night, and sometimes those fights are fucking knockout, and the next thing you know, you're fighting in like 30 minutes. So it's
right.
You got to be ready. So I was like, I got to be ready. I got to be warm. I got to have my hands wrapped. I got to pee 100 times before I fight. So it's like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, you would think that someone's telling you, oh, 10 minutes till showtime. No, it's not like that. Like, you better know when you're up, and you better be ready to go. If you're not warmed up, that's on you. Like, and I am one of those people that like, I have to have a really solid warm up. I got to be sweating like before I go out there, and I just got to be turned on completely, because yeah, so important. It was crazy, just wild. The back was wild. There was like,
the back was wild.
Fighting.
I was just gonna say that. So there wasn't one like incident, almost there was 2 incidents. So the first one, I don't even think it's been reported or talked about. So hey, this is what we are in your locker room, in Taylor Starling's locker room. There was like, it's kind of like a big L. It was like an L, a big long hallway, and Lorenzo Hunt, the juggernaut, the Bare Knuckle FC champion, was like wrapping someone else's hands. But I even forgot
the Black Assassin.
The Black Assassin. But it was like someone in his corner was the first guy that got into it. All of a sudden you hear like yelling. You start hearing yelling. So we kind of like, it's so Taylor's locker room had like a sliding glass door. So when it's closed, it's closed. Like, it's not, you don't hear a lot of stuff, and there was like a curtain and everything, so people didn't see in. But all of a sudden, like, we hear yelling through this glass door, and we're like, wow, this, like, you can tell it was about to get into something. And like, the commission had to get in the back. All these people are getting in the way, but it wasn't stopping. So Lorenzo Hunt's yelling, he's about to fight someone. So Taylor Starling, literally 25 minutes before her fight Hannah Guy, Taylor Starling, between 5 humongous light heavyweight fighters, comes out herself. She's like, she like comes out like, Lorenzo, stop! Come on, guys, I'm trying to warm up. I was like, damn, Taylor, like, I would have just
so funny. Like, the way it happened was like, Keith was in the locker room, so Keith was there, and he was like, guys, do not let her out of this room. And everyone's like, okay, we won't let Taylor out of the room. And then it's just funny because like on video, Ricky's like filming the argument going on, and I'm outside on the other side of the glass, and I'm like, and then Keith comes walking back, and he's like, what the fuck? I told you guys not to let her out of the room. And they were like, we don't have that happen. And I just I was like, in my mind, I was like, I can diffuse this situation. And like, I somewhat did. Like, I remember I looked at Lorenzo, and I was like, Lorenzo, I'm trying to fight. And he kind of calmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, he came up to me. He was like, I felt so bad because like you were right there, like warming up, and we're just screaming. He was like, it's just hard. Like, stuff like that is hard to like kind of. But they argued for like 45 minutes straight.
Yeah, it was
It
nuts.
wasn't like a one and done scream at
Yeah.
you, get pulled apart. It was like they were going and going and
Yeah.
going, and it just finally got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm over this shit. Like, I can't handle like hearing this
Yeah.
yelling and
Because
we were all like, and we love tea. Like, all of us like love. We don't like to be in the drama, but we like to be like front row and like watch. So I was just like, yeah, we were all out the glass like, ooh, what's happening? What's happening? Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm done. I've had enough of this. Like, the tea's over. I need to like you guys to get the fuck out of here. And then the wildest thing was like the whole Mike Perry incident. So like, for people who don't know, Julian Lane and Mike Perry got into a scuffle at the Bare Knuckle event. But the wildest thing was like after it got diffused was like right as I'm in staging about to walk out to fight. So I'm standing there like ready. And then I got Mike Perry.
It's one long hallway. It's like a 40-foot, 50-foot long hallway. But like what Taylor's saying is like, there's only 2 entrances out to the ramp, out to the crowd. Yep. And it's like in the middle of this hallway. Hannah Guy is probably 15 feet this way, but kind of tucked around a little bit of a corner. And Taylor Starling and Keith and myself and Duke and Shannon, and like we're over here in this little corner and Rainey, right? So like we're kind of here tucked in. But what Taylor's saying, yeah, finish it. Like literally Perry, Phil Rowe, Alex Nichols, everyone's right fucking there.
Screaming.
Yeah.
Screaming. I want my money for that shit. Like just screaming. Yeah. And I'm standing there like about to fight and I'm already amped up and like getting like the nerves were starting to kick in and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I'm just like, I'm about to fight. Mike Perry's like, I need stitches. I gotta lay down and see the doctor. And then Phil Rowe, and they're just cussing and screaming. And it was like so wild. I'm just standing there like, I'm really about to fight right now. And these guys are right here just like hollering. And it was like, it was too much. I was just like, I can't believe that this is happening right now. And I'm about to walk out. And they all like apologized to me. They were like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like, yeah, you were about to walk out, but it was kind of like just kind of a surprise. And they didn't really expect that to happen. So yeah, it was very like, so it was so dramatic. So I was very amped up. I was like, I'm ready. I was just ready to walk out so I could get away from that.
Yeah. And I felt like we were in that little spot for like 5 minutes, 7 minutes.
Forever.
Like it took a minute. It really did. It probably felt longer for you. But then, so here's like a story about Taylor. So weigh-ins, you were so cool, calm, collective. Taylor Starling, you were just this B. Dinner was the best. We'll get into the food in a second. The next day we're there before you were in this great mental state. You're like just warming up, feeling good. You're there at the venue now. It's the Hard Rock Fight Night. Hours before the fight, you're awesome, great spot. We're warming up. There's fights in the background, all this stuff. You were like so, I can like see you, like your face, you were smiling and friendly and bubbly. But all of a sudden, it was this insane, the coolest freaking switch. I wish, like, I'm getting like goosebumps talking about it or seeing you or feeling it. Like you were in this stage a minute before you're about to go out. And like, you weren't bubbly. Like you weren't friendly. Like you weren't Taylor Starling. Like you turned to a stage one time, like you're kind of pacing a little bit and I make eye contact. I see you and your face is like stonewall. Like you are ready to murk somebody. Like, it's like, I'm like, so, cause I'm in a way, I'm super jealous. Cause like, I just don't have that. Like, I don't have that. Like, I can get mad once in a while, but like,
yeah,
I get angry and I get it out. And like, that's it. Like you had this, like, it was like Taylor's about to murk somebody.
And it's so funny because like I don't remember that. It's I'm like, oh really? Like, really? I did that? But it's like, yeah, I get into like I'm happy and like I love the moment and I love being all bubbly and stuff like that. But like I'm going to fight. So it's like I gotta get into like murder mode. Like I'm just like, all right, like I'm about to fight. Fuck this shit. Like I don't give a fuck about these people fighting in the background. I don't give a fuck about anything. I just want to be like, I just sit there for that 1 minute and I'm like, all right. Like and it's funny because everyone thinks, you know, like you said, I'm so bubbly. But when I'm in that part, like the part of the fight where I'm about to walk out and like be bubbly and exciting and stuff like that, like I gotta have that moment of like, this is fucking war. And like I'm standing there and I'm just like, all right, like I'm about to hurt somebody. And like that's just like it. And I'll be standing there just like, fuck this shit. Like, and I'm like, it's like everything, like every emotion of like the negativity, like the hard work, like the shit that just sucks. And I'm just sitting there like, all right, someone's about to try to take my fucking life away from me. Fuck that. And I get like this moment where I'm just like, oh, like I'm ready to kill somebody.
It was crazy. It was like so. It was just wild being there. It was so wild.
Dude, it was just like, I remember like, okay, so after my fight, we all went to the sugar factory. Me and Dave and the whole squad went to the sugar factory, and like I had that moment where I'm sitting there and I just like started crying, and you were in front of me and you were just like, is she crying? I think she's crying. Like, I think she's crying. And I was just like,
with that,
I'm happy crying.
Yeah, like we already like we sat down, we ordered drinks, you ordered like this biggest awesome Sour Patch alcohol drink ever. Like we ordered food and you were good. Like we actually like took a couple pictures. We took one as a group. I took one of you and Keith. Like we took like a couple like awesome pictures. And yeah, you were sitting down. I was just sitting in front of you. You were sitting next to Keith. Eddie was here. Like the whole team was at this table. And like, so it was like 5 minutes. It wasn't like as soon as you said, it was like a couple minutes. And then all of a sudden, like right in front of you, like, it's like, so I was like, oh shit, Taylor, you okay? Like, you good? Like, you're good. You're like, yes, I'm good.
Like, because it's just like, I have these moments, like just after that week, like, we have to like totally run through everything, but it's like, after that week and like the love, the energy, the people, everything, the fight, like all of that like came crashing down on me like right in that moment. It was like I was sitting at the sugar factory with my big giant 12-shot alcoholic fish bowl of a drink, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like, holy shit, like all of that just happened, and now I'm right here and I'm sitting in the sugar factory and like I won, and like that, like just everything was crazy, and it hit me all at once. I do that every time I fight. Every single time I fight, I have that moment, and it was just like right there. And then I remember sitting there, and it's like all the sound around me just kind of like goes away. I can't hear anything, and I'm just sitting there looking like, this is my life, and I'm Taylor Starling, and I start like pinching myself, and then I'm just like, like ugly cry, and like I was like shaking at the table. Like, it was crazy. So dramatic.
It was so wild. It was
like a movie. That's all I kept saying. Like, that was a movie. Like, that whole week was just like a fucking movie. It's crazy.
It was insane. It was insane to like be there and be a part of it, and just so much going on. Like I said, like a lot of the fight stuff, maybe we'll save it for next week, or like I said, we'll kind of get into it, because we even have awesome fan questions, but there's even more. Like we haven't. Okay, it's like we talked about it. We're going into it right now. Wayne's were awesome, worked out perfect. Shook Hannah guy's hand, told her she smelled good. She was very respectful. You guys, boom, you're gone. So now we're at the Hard Rock, guys. Hard Rock Casino in Tampa, for one, was beautiful, was incredible, was so nice. Like the whole atmosphere there was amazing. And like there's probably 10 different restaurants. So it's weigh-in night, and it's kind of like your ritual. Like you want to get a legit meal. You want to get a great meal. Preferably like a nice piece of steak. You want a piece of meat. So there's this place there, the Council Oaks, right? So we go there, and like you guys said the name. I'm like, I'm riding with you wherever. You know what I mean? Like you could have said Hardee's or Popeyes, or you could have said Ruth Chris. Like we were rolling. You know what I mean? We're family. We're going there. So I'm like, oh, this place looks good. So you walk in. As soon as you walk in, there's literally a guy in front of you behind the glass cutting the steak. So I'm like, oh shit, this is a nice place. Like this is a good place. So they like sit us at this beautiful long table. We're all together, and like they start like kind of handing us the menus, and they start telling us what their specials are, whatever. I'm like, wow, this place is awesome. So we all like start getting apps, and the bread wasn't crazy, and we're getting soups and salads. And like one thing after another is like, this is the best thing ever. Like, this is the best thing ever. This is the best thing ever. And like, we're all like sharing food. And I kind of stopped for a second. I'm like, dude, this is like so awesome. Like, this is a Thanksgiving meal. Like, this is
a dream. Like, yeah.
Like so many, like, I don't want to like get into that side of it, but like so much family says, oh, you got to be this or you got to be this. Like, that was the most family Thanksgiving thing ever. We're all sitting at the table, loving each other, laughing with each other, smiling with each other, pushing and propping all of each other up, and then eating a good meal. I'm like, what's better than that? Like,
even like talking shit, like about, like, we're just laughing. Like,
yeah, it was like insane. It was like, dude, the dinner was like insane.
with like our squad over here, like the Modern Warrior crew in our circle, like one of our favorite things to do, and we do it like all the time, especially if like there's something big going on. But even when we don't have anything going on, we'll like call each other and be like, let's go eat a good meal. And like we love to go and eat and all be together. And like it could be anywhere. It could be somewhere like just like you said, like Popeyes or whatever. Like we could go somewhere and we all love to sit and just eat and like have that moment. And it's like we love sharing food and like sharing that time. So like to have you guys there and like everything, it was just so cool because we're always like that. We do like that's every time I have a fight trip, I'm like, I don't even care about the fight. I can't wait to go and like have I text Duke, I think that day, and I was like, bro, I can't wait for the post weigh-in meal so that we could sit the fuck down and just like have that moment because it's always so good.
Yeah,
it
was so good. And we were all sharing lobster mac and cheese, that calamari. People were sharing steaks. It was just insane. It was so much.
So like, good.
It was amazing. So
a movie, and then I learned how to gamble for the first time.
Then on the way to dinner, like we think it would be fun to you and Keith take like random pictures with people.
Oh yeah.
You remember like that? You guys were trying to take random pictures with people, and like we were doing that, and then like we wanted to like gamble a little bit. Like I was doing good at the roulette table, so you're like, oh, I want to play like. So you started doing that. It was like you were doing okay, or you weren't doing that great. I think you put in 100, right?
Yeah.
And like you got down to 50, and I was like, I think I said this. I think even Duke said like, hey, I think it's gonna come up black, and I'm like, dude, it's going to come up black odd. And you're like, really? And I think, did you bet all 50 on black or odd? I think odd, right?
Yeah. It was like
bet
13.
All 50?
I remember the number 13 came
up. Yep. And you bet all it on odd, and 13 came up. We're like, let's go. We were so excited. We were like so goofy excited about it. That
for something so stupid. And like the old people that like, you know, live in the casino that are there every day, like the little urchins that are like kind of thing. We're like, yes, I won my money back. And then like all the old people are just like,
yeah.
But it's funny because like, like so many people want to like before they fight like just go lock themselves in a room and like focus and like have their headphones in, and I'm the polar opposite. Like I want to do the most and like the most extra things to just like keep my mind off of it, and it makes me happy and like I feel all good, and I'm like, man, I've been having so much fun. Like it was wild. I just can't. It was crazy. I've sat and been like, wow, what a week.
And then fight day happens, and then me and Eddie, we had to go. We went to Bump Box in Tampa, legit awesome store. Shout out to Bump Box.
I want one.
Pete Zachary, maybe a little Killer Bee, unique special one in the works. We're talking to that. Maybe Bump Box part of the show. We'll see.
They were legit.
So we go there, like we don't get to you around maybe 3:30, sometime in that range, maybe 4. So we link up with you guys at the hotel, but you guys like had lunch kind of already. But like if you think about it, so like this is what so the fights start at 7. You got to be at the venue at 7:30. So like we got to you around like 3:34. We're chilling a little bit, talking. We're like, hey, we're all gonna get going to the event soon, and like I had to get be there at 6 for my like media badge. So I'm like, shoot, like we're not going to eat before. Like it's just, whatever, we're not going to happen, So now the starts at 7. You don't fight till like 10, like 10:15, because they had to be out of there at 11. I don't think you were there for that conversation. Someone from Bare Knuckle told us like the show, like some of their shows go on forever, like past midnight to 1. Like they couldn't do that at the show. Like they had to be over at 11 because they want people back on the casino floor. So I'm like, that's kind of cool information to know. So it was like 10:15. So like most of us didn't eat now for like 8 hours. It's like now we're kind of like, and we're so happy. We're so excited. You're kind of getting stitched up your ear and stuff you were showing earlier. And it's like, now we're hungry again. Like all we want to do is get something to eat, but it's late and like we can't go to that awesome restaurant. We just kind of want to have something fun and eat. And then we go to the Sugar Factory. And when I tell you, it wasn't the greatest like people and
experience.
Experience. That's the best way to say it. Like we all fucking ate like kings. We all drank like awesome people, but like the experience at the Sugar Factory was immaculate.
Dude, I tried to like find their Instagram. Like they had like the Sugar Factory Instagram, but I was like, maybe the Hard Rock has like their own specific Sugar Factory Instagram. Because I'm trying to like hunt these people down because I'm like, I love those people so much. Like the workers like catered to me hand and feet and all of that. And they fucking made me like I didn't even like order food. I think I ordered my drink and like that I did order that giant massive like ice cream bowl, but they brought me plates of wings that they make for Snoop Dogg. Like whenever celebrities come in there, it's like secret food that they have that only the celebrities get.
You ate from a secret menu.
What? Yeah.
You ate from a secret menu. This person right here, Taylor
like
Starling.
The celebrity, like Snoop Dogg. Like when Snoop Dogg comes to town, we only make this for Snoop Dogg and like wings and shrimp and treats and like they were like like that. Like I think that's why I was crying. Like in that moment, just like being there, it was like wow. Like they really treated me like and then like my nose started bleeding at dinner. I like drank my giant. I got so the Sugar Factory has this wild drink menu where you can get like a fishbowl drink, but the drink itself has 12 shots in it of alcohol. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drink all of this by myself, drink all of it. And I haven't drank alcohol in months. My blood's not used to it. So my blood thinned out. My nose just started pouring like a faucet in the Sugar Factory. Like did not stop. I'm bleeding all over the floor, all over the table. And the staff's just like coming behind me, like with napkins and cleaning up and like dancing with me. I was like doing the level up, but like it was funny because my mouth was like full of blood when I did it. I was like dancing and like blood, like they were just everything was crazy. I can't like it's so hard to even tell people about it because it's like you had to be there. It
was amazing. And like one cool thing, shout out to Eddie Martinez. Like he recorded so much great content and then like he was putting music behind it and videos behind it. There's so much content at the Banana and Bee podcast on IG. Check that out. It's on the YouTube channel. Most of those videos are on our YouTube channel where you probably are watching this right now. Like it's out there. It's awesome. I know you shared some of it on your stories. It's like, it's so cool. So shout out to him. Like he got so much content.
Eddie Martinez is one of the most genuine, kindest, fun human beings. And he is like, I love how excited for life he is. And like, it was just to meet him and have him there. It was like one of those people that I like was excited to meet. And I've seen him like on your stuff and helping you out. And I just never got to like really meet him. I met him in Knucklemania, but it was one of those things where like, I didn't even know because I had so much going on. But now that I finally got to like officially hang out with Eddie and stuff, so cool, so funny, just was a great vibe to have too. And like, such a great person. So thank you, Eddie, for all of your hard work this week and just being there and having a great time with us. It was so much fun.
Yeah, he was awesome.
You guys are fam. Like you guys are in the squad now. Once you're in, you're in.
I know. It's like you it's like a gang. Like you got to get beat up to get in and then you can't get out. You know, like you just can't get out. It was so good. It was just so amazing. I thought the venue was beautiful. I thought the crowd was awesome. It was just like so many different things. Like it was so like easy to get to, and like it was so cool. And also like this, and I know, hey, to some people it's cool, some people it's not. Like there was just like Christmas trees lit up everywhere. Like right outside the venue was this 25-foot Christmas tree. It was like so positive and light and smiles. Like how can you not look at an awesome looking Christmas tree and not like feel good or smile? It's just, you know. And then right outside the venue is like their outdoor pool and bar area. It was so nice. It was so legit.
Everything was really cool.
What a fight. 3-0. And like I said, okay, we won't get into the fight. We'll do some Q&As real quick from the fans. The one thing I do want to like kind of ask about it, or just like kind of put a bow on the year of 2021, Bare Knuckle, 3-0, 3 wins. And it's kind of funny too. One thing I thought about was all 3 of your wins are so different. Like,
yeah.
The one versus Segala is the fight of the year, the fight of the century, the greatest female fight in the history of the sport. Then like the Cassie Robb, we love Cassie Robb here on this show, but like it was just a barrage. It was like, hey, a Taylor Starling knockout, TKO beaten. It was just like, hey, we're coming to work. And then this fight too, like it wasn't like Knucklemania because it wasn't really like, I'm trying to say, it wasn't a war. To me, it was a lot more one-sided. It was a lot of a beatdown, but like it was another 25-minute huge big performance, but like all three of them are so different.
My fight with Hannah Guy, with Teresa, I sit and think about it all the time too. So like my fight with Teresa, I wanted to prove I was tough. Like I remember being so nervous and scared. Like I didn't have the experience. So of course I went in there and like brawled like a wet cat because I was like, I got to go out here and try to just fucking go. Like I didn't have any like I had technical moments in that fight, but I was more of like surviving. Cassie Robb, I was like, you know what? I want this to be even better than my Teresa fight so people know I'm game. And then Hannah Guy was so tough and so durable. I knew going into that fight, I wanted to show my technicality. Like everybody knows, the world knows Taylor Starling is tough. I don't have to prove that anymore. I know I'm tough. Everybody knows I'm tough. I don't have to go and just be a crazy brawler, and I'm so much more than just that. So like this fight, I was like, man, I really want people to see that I'm technical, that like I got head movement, I got footwork, I got hands, I got speed. I wanted like all of it to be showcased, and I got to do exactly that. So yeah, they're all different, but it's with reason. And like this fight, like so many people have been like, Taylor's not a technical fighter. Fuck you, I'm a technical fighter. I literally took everything that Hannah Guy threw at me and solved the Rubik's Cube, like, in the fucking ring. So I'm a problem solver, baby. I had to solve the problems and show you guys I'm technical.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was such a great performance, like such a high-end performance, because I said it earlier, I said it before the show, I said it after the show, I said after the show. That win a year from now is going to look so freaking good. People don't realize how good Hannah Guy is and how tough Hannah Guy is and how like she's 4-1, literally defeated one of the biggest female stars in Bellator MMA 8 months ago, like 6 months ago.
Like,
she is.
That's
like,
the one thing is so many people are talking so much shit. But I knew when Dean Toole hit me up and was like, Hannah Guy, I kind of was like, ooh, Hannah Guy? Are you sure? Like, because I was like, that chick's fucking tough. And I'm like, hell yeah. Like, I'm like, that's a great fight. You know what? She's fucking tough. Let's go. I was like, I knew that she was going to give me what I wanted. I mean, who doesn't want to knock out? Like, I'm the one that's like, I want to put on a show and have a good 5-round war. I was like, this girl ain't getting knocked out. People were saying that so much. I'm like, Hannah Guy is not getting knocked out. And even after the first round, I said, she ain't knocking me out. I ain't knocking her out. Let's make it a war, baby. Let's go. Yeah. So it was like, it was so cool. And she is a great fucking person. So it was just made it that much sweeter.
Yeah. We love Hannah Guy in this show. We respect her. Yeah. I'm going to reach out to her. Maybe, I'm going to give her a little bit more time. Maybe if it's next week or the week after. I don't know. We got to figure that out. Next week, I'm doing a lot of traveling with the family. We're taking a family trip. I'm so excited.
I know. Enough about me. I'm fucking tired of myself. What do you got going on, Dave?
Man, it was it's been a whirlwind. Like this week has been so crazy. Going out there, Tampa, like and working. The UFC 269 was a couple days ago.
Jillian.
Shout out to Jillian the Savage Robertson. First round, get the rear naked choke. I was there, 2 weeks ago with Jillian, and we had that lunch, and saw her training, and she's like, Dave, like, and I never said it because it was like before the fight, and I would never, me, I'd never be that person, but she's like, Dave, I'm taking her down, and I will get her neck. Like, this will happen. She's like, within 2 rounds. Like, I'm expecting. I'm like, that's huge, Jillian. Like, there's not a lot of, she's a high-end, fighter, blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, I'm stopping this girl. Like, I'm going to choke her out in 2 rounds. And that's what she did.
And, it's so funny because just, like, me loving Jillian the way that I do, like, when that girl was gouging her eyes, I got so mad.
Yeah, bro, that was dirty as
that bitch. Like, I will fucking beat the fuck out of that bitch. And I'm just like, I hope Jillian fucking chokes you unconscious. Like, I was so, like, it was just funny to feel that, like, personal, like, like, because, I didn't like that. And I was like, Jillian's so nice. How did you fucking gouge your eyes out?
Justin, now you know how I feel. Like, now you know what I go through, man. I was so stressed in your fight. Like, I was so stressed. I enjoyed it, but didn't. Like, I was just like
you don't want to, you almost like don't want to watch. You're like, I would just, like Ricky Rainey. It's so funny. If he is not cornering, he's not watching the fight. He'll tell you, I'm not watching your fight. He'll be like, nope, maybe I'll see highlights on the internet or something. He's like, I don't want to watch it.
That's crazy. Dude,
He's like, that shit has me. He'll be like way too stressed out.
He's such a stud, man. He is such a good dude. We just
He
laugh.
is.
Like Duke is more like he's like this Master Splinter or just Splinter, like
Yeah.
the good, ninja. Rainey is like Michelangelo. He's just so fun and like just wants to cut it up and eat pizza and do fun shit. Like, man, and like Keith is Leonardo, maybe Donatello. I don't know. We got to figure that out. That's a t-shirt right there. But
I know, right?
all right, we're 40 minutes into it. We'll do like this in 10 minutes. We'll kind of wrap stuff up. You know this. We are the people's podcast. We give the people what they want. We kind of ask them, throw some stuff out there. So we'll just do some fun quick ones. You ready?
Ready.
They go, hey, it does now being 3-0. Does that set you up for a possible Beck Rollins fight?
I'm tired of hearing Beck Rollins. I don't know what's going on with Beck. I don't know if she's coming bare knuckle. I don't know if she's not. I don't know her life.
Yeah.
My response is whoever the fuck wants it can fucking get it.
You said it. Disney or Universal, when and which park do you want to go to celebrate the win?
Islands of Adventure.
Yes.
I love Islands of Adventure. It says like, I mean, Universal Studios is cool, but like Islands of Adventure is so much more fun. And
so much fun.
I mean, Disney's cool and all, but it's like that's more of like I want to take my kids. I would like to go drink around Epcot, but yeah, I want to go to Islands of Adventure. I haven't been since I was a kid without my kids, so I want to go and just go to Islands of Adventure and just be a big fucking nerd and like have a blast.
We were there 3 weeks
What about you?
ago.
Same answer?
Yeah. Like, and we were just there 3 weeks ago with Felicia Spencer, the whole retirement thing. And like, we went on that Jurassic Park, that new Velociraptor roller coaster. One of the most insane roller coasters ever. It was so intense. It was so bad. But like, that park is so much fun. The Spider-Man rides and like, there's so much food and drink options and like Harry Potter World is the best. So, all right. So Islands of Adventure it is. This is a good one to go. Taylor, what was your biggest challenge faced going into this fight?
This is like physically, emotionally. Hannah guy was tough. So like physically, like she was tough. She was strong. But I want to say mentally, like, I don't know why, but it was like the whole time, like, I guess because I was in a perpetual fight camp, like I had not stopped training since Randine. So it was like a good 5 months of just nonstop fight camp, not knowing who I was fighting until like the week before, not knowing anything. I kind of got to this point where I was just like burnt out. And then I got to a point where like everything felt like I wasn't doing good enough. I'm like, I've been in this fight camp and like, why am I not like seeing this improvement or that? And like, I was just being way overly hard on myself. And I tell you guys that all the time. Like, that's my biggest flaw. Which is like a good thing, but a bad thing. Like, because I'm telling you, I will be beating myself up about shit. Like, just because I want so badly to be the best. And that was probably one of the hardest things. Like, the last week of fight camp before we came to Tampa was probably a nightmare for the gym because I was so just like moody and like just not happy because I was like, I've been just doing all this and I suck. And like, I always get really hard on myself. So that was definitely the biggest battle for me.
There we go. What was Hannah like in the lead up to the fight and post fight?
It was so funny because we actually were on the same flight to Tampa. And I remember seeing Hannah and I was like, there's Hannah. And I was like, I kind of want to just like go up and be like, hey, what's up? Like, cool to see you here. And then like, I didn't. And I saw her at the hotel and I was like, hey, Hannah, how are you? And she was like, oh, good. How are you? And I could kind of tell where she was like in that phase of like, I don't know if I should really talk to you or like be like, we're opposing sides, you know, but I'm just so like, whatever, like at the end of the day, we're going to fight. And then she was so nice. Like we weighed in and I remember facing off with her and she smelled so good. Like it was like, she smelled so good that like, I couldn't not say anything because I was like, man, like I'm so used to being the one that smells good. And then Hannah smelled good. And I always respect that because I love smelling good. And I just smelled her and I was like, man, I was like, I gotta say it. I was like, girl, you smell good. And she was just like, thank you. Like, and she was super cool. And Alan Belcher, like, they were all really cool. We definitely kept our, like, respect and like
Yeah.
kept that fine line of like, all right, we're opponents. But then once we were in the fight after the first round, we shared that moment of like, I asked her, I remember we towed the line and I was like, are you having fun? And she looked at me and she said, hell yeah. And I was like, let's go. Like, let's go.
Yeah.
So she was super cool. I really, really like Hannah. We've been talking back and forth. So yeah, she's so cool.
That's awesome. It's like so good to hear, like so much. I think especially like maybe this is out of line of me saying this, but this is just what I hear in the truth. Just seems like the 125-pound female division, there's just like all this always like drama and chaos and all this. It's like you guys can have an amazing fight, but going into it respectful. You didn't have to make up drama. You didn't have to push anyone. It was just legit fun, great fight. You guys put on the show of the show, and like afterwards, you're cool. We're friends. Like someone who wants to have the same goal as me, like I respect that because that's what I want.
Yeah.
Like why would I be angry or against someone who wants the same dream that I want?
Exactly. I just feel like at the end of the day, like you fight, like of course, like there's emotions and there's things that you feel and like you fight. You're fighting each other. It's not baking cookies. Like yeah, I understand people that do get like all hard and like mean and whatever, but at the same time I'm like, I'm gonna fight this girl, and then it's gonna be like on to the next thing, and she's gonna be on the next thing, and I'm gonna be on the next thing, and we're not even gonna be like whatever. So it's like we have the same, like we have different, she has different goals than I do, but like we all have goals. We're women. Like it's already tough enough being a fucking woman without fighting. And it's like, why sit and have to like be fucking hateful and just I don't care for that stuff. Like I like keeping good energy around me, so I'm like fuck that. Like I'm just gonna be whatever. Like, and if someone wants to have some shitty fucking energy towards me I can get gangster, but I'm just like it's a waste of energy, like such a waste of a feeling. Like why not be a bad bitch when you can, instead of being a sad bitch or a mad bitch, you know?
I'm gonna use that line too. Shit, I'm gonna use that. What was the name of the gigantic ice cream sundae you got?
I have no idea, but fun disclaimer, my nose was bleeding while I was eating it, and like I think it was like the Snoop Dogg sundae, or I don't know. That's what I've been calling it. I'm just like, everything at the Sugar Factory is Snoop Dogg, like because they told me that they fed all of it to Snoop Dogg, so I felt like so special.
And as a parent, you know this, like the more you parent, like you see some disgusting shit. Like it just happens. Like I can't even tell you how much bodily fluids have been like in our living room floor. Like I one way or another, it's like, how did this happen, son? Like what's going on here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's being a parent. But I swear to you, like, and I have a thick stomach. Like I throw up once every 8 years. You're like eating the ice cream, you're doing your thing, and like it's like your nose. So like they have these small, like I kind of like call them like bar napkins. They're bar napkins, and like you're kind of putting them in your nose to stop the blood. Oh, I'm getting sick saying this, and there's like 10 on the table, and like you can like feel, you know, like there's something big coming. So like you take it out of your nose. Does it come out of your mouth or your nose?
It was out of my nose. It was coming out of my mouth and my nose, but when I took them out.
Yeah, you took them out, but when Taylor took them out, it was like a pancake full, like a mini pan. It was just like, and then like, and like it landed on the table, like.
And then me drunk, like I'm drunk. I was feeling right, and I remember I had like my bloody booger napkins. I was like, Dave, and like trying to like smack you with them, and you were just like, stop, and I'm like, no, look at my boogers.
I was dodging that. I was like Roy Jones Jr.
You were like Taylor Starling versus Hannah Guy. Woo! But yeah, it was so funny. But yeah, but this is what happened to me later that night. Like I didn't even eat any of the food at the Sugar Factory. I was so fucked up, and like I ate one chicken wing, but that massive sundae, I was like eating that massive chocolate sundae, but my nose was bleeding so bad that like while I'm eating, I'm like, this is so gross. I'm swallowing my blood. So I'm like eating, and blood's going down my throat. My nose was just bleeding so bad. And I get back to the hotel, and I'm like, man, I don't feel good. And I'm like, I don't know what's wrong. I'm like, I'm going to vomit. I'm like, I was like, I don't feel like I'm that drunk. And I go to the bathroom and I hurl like so bad. And it was just pure blood and ice cream. And I was like, blood and ice cream. Like, it was just like sick. And I was like, yeah, no wonder my fucking stomach hurt. I just like swallowed so much blood and like vomited my Snoop Dogg Sunday. So
that's
you're
the
welcome,
name of our
guys. You're
first
welcome.
music album, Blood and Ice Cream.
There we go.
Oh my goodness. Couple more and then we'll roll. How do your boys react to you post fight? Are they used to seeing bruises on you?
Oh yeah, they're used to that part right now. I think honestly that kind of like faded. When I fought Teresa, they flipped out. But this time I showed up to pick them up from their dad, and they were just like, "Hey, mom!" Like they didn't even like fucking didn't even phase them. Only Brody, like I went to kiss him, and he was like, like, cause my lip is all. Yeah. He was like, oh, and then he was kissing my boo boos and stuff. It's just funny because like. You would expect more of a reaction out of my kids about fighting, but like they really don't care. They're just like they're in their own little human dinosaur Mario Kart world. Like they're just like I was like, Mommy's going to fight. Carson was like, I don't want you to leave. I left, came back. He was like, that was quick. And then like I came home, I was like, I won, and he was like, cool. Like just like they're just very like nonchalant about it. And I know like when they get older it'll be a lot more exciting, but they're just very much so like attention span of fish. They're like very like, oh cool, are we gonna like go get a toy from Target today?
The same thing. It's like I can like break stories or have like a good show or like numbers were up this month or whatever, but like it's just they don't, nothing else matters unless like when they see me on YouTube, like they will randomly on their phone or like on our TV, like, you know, I think it's signed in with like me or Fight Bananas is signed in on my TV on, you know, in the living room. So like sometimes our like video or the Dave Van Auken show at Fight Bananas is like on like the homepage. So like it's the Grinch, the floor is lava, you know, dinosaurs, and then it's me. They're like, wait, Dad, what are you doing on this? Like that's when they kind of like get spiced up on it. It's like, wait, you're on YouTube, Dad? So
yeah, the boys will do that too. Like sometimes they'll be like, they'll see like posters, like when they go to the gym, there's like fight posters of me up, and they'll be like, Mom, you're on that poster, that's so cool. And then like, but they're more worried about fucking Roblox and YouTube and shit like that they're just like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. When's the new Mario Kart coming out?
Yeah. Facts. Last one from the fans. And this is a good one. We can we have some unique insight to this. They're like, what do you guys think about the insane Mike Perry situation? So 100%, the actions weren't fake. Do I think it was rigged or do I think it was a little set up?
Provoked.
Yeah. It was definitely. Julian Lane wasn't in that lane because I was there. Like I was literally with being in the media. I was on the floor. I was sitting behind them. I was kind of in their area. Then literally 20 minutes, 30 minutes before that even happened, I was there talking with Phil Rowe and Alex Nicholson and Mike Perry. Like we were just shooting the shit. Like we were just talking about fights and stuff. So like Julian Lane wasn't in that area. Like there was two different areas. And then all of a sudden they bring Perry in to talk to him. And especially like they bring him, he's sitting on the outside. It was kind of like weird how it was set up. Like Mike Perry had space where there wasn't space. If you check out other scenarios, there wasn't this area. And then Julian Lane's all of a sudden like right there and throwing something at him. Then after that, that's real. Like whatever they did afterwards, that's real. We saw Mike Perry get stitched up, or at least I did. Like he was legitimately got stitches. So, but it's
I was like, someone somewhere went and said, hey, go up to Mike Perry and throw something at him. And I really do think that Julian Lane probably doesn't really like him, but I think that was I'm sure that Julian Lane in his mind was like, I'm going to do something tonight. And then that just probably like was the catalyst. I just don't care for shit like that. And like, I understand, like, get your bag, sell your fight, get people to want to watch it. But I'm just like, don't be in the back when I'm about to walk out a fight and be have these people all riled up. There was like, they're all so big, like Phil Rowe and Alex Nicholson and Mike Perry. They're all so big that I was just like, these big old men are back here just yelling and screaming and hollering. And I'm like, it's not like it's just one. It's like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, like all just yelling.
How many police? There was like 8 police officers back there. It was
crazy. And then you got that, and then you got the workers, and I'm just back there like, like I just want to fight. Get the fuck away from me.
It was so crazy. It was.
But I did get to say hi to Mike Perry and Phil Rowe and Alex like before I fought, and that was pretty cool. Like to see Mike Perry. But I don't think they really cared to say hi to me, so it was just like, yeah, whatever. And then they were yelling in the back, and I was like,
Nicholson is a fan. Like Alex came out.
Oh yeah, no, Alex Nicholson's cool as fuck. He's always hyping me up and gassing me up. But it was just funny because like Phil Rowe and Mike Perry were kind of like, "Who are you?" Like I think they didn't know who I was. And like they were just very much like. I was like, all right, it's cool, whatever. Oh but Alex Nicholson, no, he's really cool. He came up to us at the Sugar Factory, and he's always been super, super supportive of me and like always on my shit. Like, yeah, you better go off, bitch. Like, just like, like hyping me up and stuff. Yeah. He was super cool. And he apologized. Like, he's the one who came up to us at the Sugar Factory and was like, I'm so sorry that happened. And like, I know you were about to fight. It was just crazy.
Crazy. 3-0.
What a wild week.
3-0. Yeah, it was a wild week.
Are like kind of swollen. Not really. They're really not that bad. They're just green and purple.
I think that was the first thing I said to you after the fight. Like I'm like, because you didn't look in like nothing crazy swollen or broken or even your hands. I'm like, how are you? Like how you feel? Like I'm all right. Like I'm beaten up. I'm hurt. Like I'm in some pain or whatever. I'm hurt, but like I'm all right. Like I don't think I got, a sprained ankle or a broken finger. Like you're like, no, I'm good. Like it's
the only thing that bothered me was my ear and like try to give the people what they want to see, baby. It just like ripped open. But other than that, like this is the best. Like I was awful after my Teresa fight. Like that was like I thought I was dying. My hands were broken. This one was like a war, but like I'll be fine by next week.
Wow.
I just get to look like a corpse for the week. So
there you go. What were we 15 days away from Christmas?
The nightmare before Christmas.
Oh my God, Jack Skeleton. Oh my God. That was so good. That was it. That's episode volume 11, the Banana and Bee podcast. Dave and Auken, Taylor. So just what a week. What an absolute movie. Tampa, Florida, Hard Rock Casino. So many videos. Like I said, guys, make sure to go back to check out all this content. We have weigh-in videos. We have just like walking around the restaurant videos. We have fight night videos. Yes, we have dancing at Sugar Factory videos. All this content, the Banana and Bee Instagram, or of course, check out the Banana and Bee on the YouTube channel. Hey, I got nothing else for this one. This is just like the taste. We got multiple weeks to set up. We'll have Christmas shit coming up, New Year's Eve coming up. Like I said, maybe we'll talk to Hannah or Alan Belcher, get them on. Yeah, there's definitely some guests we want to come on again and some new guests we want. So we'll
I want to talk to Alan Belcher and be like, what was your first impression of Taylor Starling? Because like I think I don't know if he didn't know how to take me or what, but I remember I was just like, hey, and he's just like.
So like I talked to him. I've talked to Ellen, and like I'm gonna say I don't want to say too much because I don't know what is what, what he told me was like he knew you were a badass chick. He's like, no, we knew we were getting ourselves into something, but like I think they knew who you were, but now they're like, wow, yeah, like everything we kind of thought and we thought we knew and what we've heard, yeah, no, Taylor's that chick. Like Taylor's awesome. He's like, hey, they would love to have you train. I know Hannah would maybe want to train. Like that'd be awesome. Like they would love to.
You're not grappling me.
Yeah, no grapple. No grapple.
I don't want
God, she's so strong. Strong.
She's gonna be like, this is for that fucking bare knuckle fight, and just like slam me.
Just eye gouger, like the Julian Savage fight. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was it.
Amazing. It is. Guys, we thank you so much for listening, watching. We appreciate you guys so fucking much. Yeah, I'm out. Dave Van Auken, Taylor Starling. Are we going to do that cool little intro? The outro now? The outro?
Yep. Okay, bye. Let's go.
Bye.